I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's a lie. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
real-world experience.
it's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe, it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network. Tonight, once again, we are proud to be the exclusive broadcast partner of the Sim Racers Club. My name is Chris Graham. Patrick Byrne has the night off, traveling down this way towards the eastern mountains of Pennsylvania, helping to cover the M&M's Fan Appreciation 400 weekend at the Pocono Raceway. We'll give you a whole lot more detail on all the stuff we have coming up here this weekend shortly. But first, we got a lot of stuff to get through over the next 48 hours. You do not want to miss any of it, and it will be kicked off by the stars and cars of the Sim Racers Club. These guys are running practice currently, and with about 3 minutes left, we'll put the ticker up here at the top of the screen, let you get a look at where your favorite is running tonight as we tell you a little bit about the racing action that'll be coming up here. Located in Lebanon, Tennessee, about 25 miles, 45 minutes-ish with traffic away from downtown Nash Vegas. The Nashville SuperSpeedway banked at runs 1.33 miles, 14 degrees of banking. Concrete surface, which is very different from the other kind of air quotes, cookie cutter type track that we've seen, originally opening in 2001. This is round 11 of the championship. 132 laps will be the distance tonight. Stages are going to be at lap 30 and lap 70. As soon as we get word on whether there will be a stage break caution, we will give you that information. Restarts will be double file. Overtime is unlimited opportunities. Oh, there you go. Stage break, lap 70. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. Mike McConville checking in here. Taking a look at the point standings heading into tonight's race. Johnny Avila holding a 26-point lead over Kevin Dick. Tyler Seville, Andrew Moore, Will Worsler, your top five. Kind of down to a two-horse race, though. It's going to really take something special for Tyler Seville to have a shot at claiming this 2022 spring season championship with only a handful of races left to go. Following after tonight's race, down to 3 events remaining. Heading off to the Atlanta Motor Speedway, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, finishing things up at Pocono Raceway on August 10th. Let's take a look here. Mike asking the question in the comments. First, let's pull it up here, and then we'll take a look and see. Am I the only one in here in a music-themed paint scheme? Maybe. Take a look. Here's Mike pulling out onto the racetrack. On cue. Thank you very much, Mr. McConville. Trying to see, is that a Lincoln Park paint scheme? Yes, it is. Or at least it looks like it. There is Mike McConville, and only a couple of cars out on the racetrack right now, but one of them is your points leader, Johnny Avila, turning only his 4th lap of the session. Everybody else turning solid numbers of laps. In fact, quickest in practice, Will Worsler has turned 77 laps in practice. Pretty impressive here how many laps these drivers are turning. However, a lot of it is all very much short-run stuff. Will Worsler's best time in practice, 29.846 seconds. Andrew Moore, Troy Haight, Tyler Seville, A.J. Digby, your top 5 in the practice session as qualifications getting ready to roll underway. Twisted Auto Sports, you got to change that. And by the way, thank you for the comments. The more interactive you are tonight, the better this show is going to be, because solo guy in the booth for 132 laps can be a little bit of a long night. Twisted Auto Sports, I live 20 minutes from this track, and I've not been to a race yet. I would imagine the Cup weekend is pretty good. The Indy cars were insane. Oh, how about it? Big save, Johnny Avila. He's going to try to get it woed up before the start-finish line, and he does, so he'll be able to reset the car. Let's pick up the guy who was fastest in the practice session earlier, Will Worsler. See what he's going to be able to do here. Talking with Mike McConville before the race, and one of the things he mentioned, cars are a little snapped loose off of 4. We saw that out of Johnny Avila tonight, and a big bump in the middle of 3 and 4 at about where they go to get back into the gas for the corner exit. First lap's coming in. Andrew Moore Jr., 30.354 seconds, 31.088 for Richard Fletcher. See what Will Worsler is going to be able to do. He goes 5th quick, 32.045 for Will Worsler. Rick Javorka to move himself up to the 3rd position on the board with a lap time of 31.030 seconds. Mike McConville checking in, saying, today is the 5th anniversary of the death of Lincoln Park frontman Chester Bennington, my favorite band of all time. That explains it. I was never a big Lincoln Park. See what lap number 2 looks like for Will Worsler. He's across the line, and it is 3rd quick, 29.983 seconds. Andrew Moore Jr. goes quick time, 29.924 seconds. Let's take a look here, see what Brad Allison's going to be able to do as he makes his way down the back stretch. Tony Patton clocking in the 8th quick lap at a 34.622, and both of his laps are in the books, so he's going to be a little bit disappointed with that. Off of turn number 4, the 03 of Allison. He's down over the line. He was 6th quick. Now he's going to be 4th. 30.369 seconds for the native of Sydney, Australia, Mr. Brad Allison. Let's pick up Tyler Seville. Well, we were trying to pick up Tyler Seville in the 11. Instead, we'll pick up the 22 of Daniel Pinkston out of Alexandria, Virginia for Twisted Auto Sport. Pinkston's lap going to be 10th quick, 30.931 seconds. Here is the aforementioned Mr. McConville. First, we got to pick up Johnny Avila down across the line. What does lap number 2 look like for Avila? Quick time, 29.917 seconds. 29.91 with a 7 for Johnny Avila, the new fastest time of the session. AJ Digby going to be 5th, quick at a 30.039 second lap. Now we'll take a look here at Mike McConville. See what Mike's going to be able to do on lap number 1. Mike out of Cape May, New Jersey for Shattered Dreams Racing. You can see it there. Car definitely big time twitchy out of turn number 4. It's going to be a good lap, though. 7th quick, 30.502. Right about 6/10 off of Johnny Avila's quick time. Here's the 41 of Tim Knott just coming around to complete lap number 1. He's going to slide a little bit high. Got to keep the car off the safer barrier at the exit of the corner. Lap number 1 in the books for Tim Knott, going to be 9th quick, 30.554 seconds. Corbin Simmons also on the racetrack. Zach Holloway has not yet taken time. Those will be the final of the 16 cars on the entry list here this evening. Oh, and Knott's going to get up into the fence off at turn number 4. Lap time for lap number 2 will not score for Tim Knott. We pick up Corbin Simmons down the back straightaway. Simmons going to be 12th quick at a 30.818. That's the trouble. You go from push to snap loose. And Simmons has to back out of it as well. So lap number 1 will stand for Corbin Simmons and Zach Holloway. Not yet out onto the racetrack. Still 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go here in qualifying. Talked a little bit about some of the exciting stuff we have coming up this weekend. National Racing Network will have 2 crews out on the road. Andrew Acera, Patrick Byrne, and myself will be handling the coverage duties up at Pocono Raceway for the M&M's Fan Appreciation 400 weekend, which will include the ARCA Menards Series on Friday afternoon for a 200-miler, 150 miles on Friday for the Truck Series, followed at 5 p.m. in the East by a 250-miler for the cars of the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and then the 400-mile race for the NASCAR Cup Series coming up on Sunday. At the Iowa Speedway, we'll have Ben Carswell, Jason Owens, and Mike McCullen handling coverage of the Hy-Vee doubleheader weekend for the NTT IndyCar Series, 2 National Touring Series in action this weekend. NRN's going to have live coverage from both venues. So a ton of real-world content coming this weekend. Also, Burt Wojcik, Adam Rubright going to be crisscrossing the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. They will be covering the NOS Energy Drink World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series as they head in for Summer Nationals weekend. I believe tonight they are at the Port Royal Speedway. Friday night and Saturday night is the Champion Oil Summer Nationals at the Williams Grove Speedway. Just a ton of racing action going on all over the country. If you are able to, get on out to a local racetrack. Support your local racers. The grassroots of this sport is, quite frankly, why we get to see the big guys do this stuff, and we get to play at places like Nashville SuperSpeedway. Big news on the iRacing front this week. The currently available Chicago Street Circuit on iRacing is going to become a thing of the real world. For the first time ever, a circuit designed, laser scanned and designed for sim racing is going to make an appearance in the real world with the NASCAR Cup Series along with the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship heading there July 1st to the 3rd next weekend. It's going to be hot. Hot, hot, hot on Lake Michigan. Should be a fun weekend, though. Street course races are always kind of big festival parties. Down to 90 seconds remaining in qualifications, and it looks like Zach Calloway will not get out onto the racetrack. So lineup will be set, and it will be Johnny Avila who will claim your pole position here this evening. Let's take a look here and see if we can't get a word with our pole sitter here this evening, Mr. Johnny Avila. Congratulations on the lap, bud. That was well, it was a pretty good lap. You had a little bit of an issue getting started, though. What are your thoughts here? Is the car going to be, I'm hearing a little snap loose off of 4, maybe an issue tonight?
Well, I'm going to just pray that my car drives like it did for my Q lap and not for the laps before that, because that'll be interesting. But there's a bump right on the exit of 4, and it swings the back end out. So you either have to catch it, let off, or whatever. And for Q, I was just flooring it and spinning it around.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations on picking up another Sim Racers Club pole here. Way you want to start the night when you're going championship hunting here, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. And on Sunday night, my league race was here in the NextGen, and Tyler had a lot of speed. So having that buffer between him is going to be kind of nice.
That's a fantastic piece of information to have. Thank you much for that. All right, good luck tonight, brother. We appreciate it.
Have a good night, guys.
So there you go. There's Johnny Avila, your pole sitter here this evening. It is time to go racing at the Nashville SuperSpeedway. 132 laps will be the distance here tonight. Let's take a look here and see which camera do we want to pull. We can take a look at tonight's starting grid. On the pole, out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the Custom Paints and Diecast Whiskey Gun Plus Lakeside Automotive number 63. It's Will Worsler Racing's Johnny Avila. Starting on the outside of the front row, car number 77 out of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. 7 thousandths of a second separating these two. It's Andrew Moore Jr. Inside of row number 2 in car number 28. Another Keystone Estate native, Troy Haight, 26 thousandths off the pole time. Starting on the outside of row 2 in car number 29 out of New Johnsonville, Tennessee. The Willoughby Roofing and Sheet Metal Custom Paints and Diecast High Flow Industrial and Environmental Services Ford Mustang of Will Worsler. Starting in the 5th position, car number 14 out of Alliance, Ohio, Custom Paints and Diecast, driving for Will Worsler Racing. It will be the Chevrolet Camaro of A.J. Digby. Outside of row number 3, the 03 of Sydney, Australia's Brad Allison, and the Custom Paints and Diecast Realty Executives Saskatoon. Entry for Momentum Sim Racing Esports. Inside of row number 4 will be the number 57 of Cape May, New Jersey's Mike McConville for Shattered Dreams Racing. And on the outside, the number 43 of North Wilkesboro, North Carolina's Richard Fletcher, driving the Custom Paints and Diecast Ford Mustang for Will Worsler Racing. Starting in the 9th position, car number 41 belonging to Tim Knott out of the great state of Texas, and the 62 of Rick Javorka out of Ocala, Florida. Sass and Honey Company BCM Chevrolet Camaro for Black Car Mafia. Tyler Seville, Corbin Simmons going to make up row number 6. Row 7 will have Daniel Pinkston and Max Williams. Row number 8, Tony Patton and Zach Calloway. All 16 cars have made the grid. And it is just about time to go racing. Field making their way through turns 3 and 4. This one should be a pretty spectacular night here. Field getting ready to go green as always, race fans. Start of this one, gonna be all yours. number 1 goes very quickly in the books to Johnny Avila. Andrew Moore going to hold on to second. Troy Haight, Will Worsler side by side battling for third. Haight going to be able to complete that pass easily. Top 5 now all single file down the back straightaway. First real battle for position on the racetrack. Going to be a little bit further back. Tyler Seville down on the inside of the racetrack in the Arch Telecom number 11. Working his way inside of Tim Knott in the 41. Knott got up into the wall in qualifications. Basically in that exact same location. Seville able to clear the pass by the time they get to turn number 1. Big run coming up here for Rick Dvorka as Mike McConville sets the fastest lap of the race at a 30.233. Only 2 sets of tires on offer for these drivers tonight, so not a huge surprise that we would see, I don't want to say a little bit of go easy early on, but if we look at the pit strategy, it could potentially be a one-stop race as the fuel window is from 60 to 65 laps. Where that really gets interesting is the fact that the stage brake caution is going to come at lap number 70. Following along this battle between the 10 of Corbin Simmons and the 62 of Rick Dvorka. Max Williams is going to be right there as well. Drivers only have 2 sets of fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles in the box tonight. Tire wear is moderate. It's not terrible, but it's not exactly light either. And one of the big ones here, no backup cars available for the race this evening. Oh man, just ahead of this one. Tim Knott, Corbin Simmons were side by side, almost making contact. Through turns 3 and 4, they'll stay side by side down the front straightaway. Tyler Seville setting a new fastest lap of the race. Man, Tim Knott's got a handful. Max Williams had a peek up to the outside, thought about going 3 wide at the exit of 2. Not nearly enough momentum. He's going to give Knott a big shove down the backstretch and into 3. Battle heating up here at the front of the field as well. Andrew Moore Jr. right up onto the deck lid of Johnny Avila down the front stretch. Troy Haight going to be there, as is Will Worsler. Maybe a little bit of pace control here by Johnny Avila. If you can make your fuel number, like we said, you can possibly make this a one-stop race. However, based on the amount of time that you're going to... Oh, big slide for Avila! He's down into the grass. What a save, Johnny Avila. But he is going to head just about to the back of the field. All the way back to the 12th position, and we stay under green. Zach Calloway sets a new fastest lap of the race out of the 14th position, 32.06. But how about the save by Johnny Avila off of turn number 4? Take a look at this one on the Hot Shoe Racewear Instant Replay. Car caught that little bit of a bump, a little twitch. Man, is he lucky that thing didn't get up into the outside safer barrier. Johnny Avila going to have a lot of work to do, though, as he comes back up onto the racetrack. We'll pick up the race. Here's Andrew Moore, Troy Haight, Will Worsler. If you're going to have the issue, kind of now's the time to have it. Have it early in the race. You wonder if that lack of laps in practice maybe hurt Johnny Avila just a little bit. He talked about the league race that they had on Sunday. The big difference is this is a fixed setup league, and if the fixed setups are not identical, you can get those kind of little twitchy things that you sort of have to get used to and just kind of drive with the issue. Thus far, everybody's still on the lead lap. Let's pick up AJ Digby, Mike McConville, and Tyler Seville running nose to tail off at turn number 2. You wonder if that big slide didn't hurt the tires on Johnny Avila's number 63 machine as well. Got to thank everybody tuned in on YouTube and on Twitch. Give it a like, give it a share, all the buttons you can push. We appreciate the support. Conville able to clear Digby and open up a pretty sizable gap here as Tyler Seville goes to work on the 14 rocket ship as well, and a little bit slow off the launch pad tonight for AJ Digby. However, we saw this in the Ezra IndyCar Series race last Thursday night that AJ picked up the win in. He is a master of the fuel calculations and the fuel strategy numbers. AJ Digby falling backwards is not necessarily indicative of raw pace at this point in the race. He knows the fuel number that he needs to make. The Will Worsler Racing guys have talked about the fact that AJ is the strategy guy for the team. Constantly has the numbers running. That's a big storyline here to follow. Is AJ Digby going to try to split this out into a one-stop race potentially? The other big one that really comes into play is if you do not decide to make it a one-stop race, when do you make your pit stop? Because you can't make it to lap number 70 on fuel without a crazy fuel sink. Definitely kind of an interesting thought process here of kind of what direction you want to go with the strategy calls over the course of the night. This is the only real battle on the racetrack. Tyler Seville sitting about a quarter of a second back of Mike Conville. AJ Digby another half second back. Brad Allison about a third of a second back from Digby. The lead at the front only about 0.6 of a second. It's not exactly like Andrew Moore is running away and hiding here. But the other one we're going to follow along with here is Johnny Avila and the course of his recovery drive after that slide through the infield. Well, Tim Knott may have gotten a piece of the outside safer barrier. Avila catching in on Tim Knott. They are both catching Corbin Simmons for the 9th position. Avila having to look to the outside of Knott into turn number 1. He'll stay there through the corner and be alongside the entire way. So Potter calling out to Tim Knott. You still have the car to the outside. Still there. Still there. Still there. And clear. Barely. Knott holds the inside of the racetrack. Avila up on the high side, trying to grab some gravity, get the run off the corner, drop it down low. Just nothing really going there. 4 to 63. He'll take a little bit of drafting help from Corbin Simmons down the back stretch. Avila's going to be clear, but he can't make the turn down to the inside. That allows Knott to come right back. Anytime you have a long side-by-side battle like this, you wonder about the tire wear that these drivers are going to be dealing with. Johnny Avila already putting a fair bit of wear into those Goodyears with his slide off the corner. Oh, man. Him not almost getting up into the 10 of Simmons. Avila going to be able to clear the 41 of Knott. Now he goes to work on Corbin Simmons. Quite frankly, makes easy work of that pass off of turn number 2. with Johnny Avila back up to position number 9 as we work lap number 22. Knocking on wood, clean and green from the start of this one. Not really a surprise from these Sim Racers Club guys. They always put on a pretty fantastic show and very, very clean in the driving as well. Give us a shout in the comments, by the way. Let us know where you're watching from. I'm sure you don't want to hear me talk. We'll turn this into as much of a conversation as you folks would like here. Moving up to the battle for second, Will Worsler, big dive inside of Troy Haight through turns 1 and 2. Slides up in front, put Will Worsler up to P2. Mike McConville gonna have to contend with Tyler Seville. Potential to be a pretty decent points night for some of these drivers, with Johnny Avila having the early issue. Big surprise, Kevin Dick not entered in tonight's race. He had made all 10 starts on the season, 4 poles, no wins, but 8 top 10s in 10 starts had him second in points. He will not be in that position here tonight, as he will stand pat on 471 markers. Mike McConville's caught up to the 28 of Troy Haight off of turn 4. Will Worsler going to be right there as well, so your top 4 going to have to go chasing down Andrew Moore Jr. Next time by, it'll be 5 to go in stage 1. As recently as 2016, this Nashville SuperSpeedway was as good as dead. Final race had been run there in 2011, that being an NTT IndyCar Series race. Actually, excuse me, that was a Truck Series and an Xfinity Series. Place held 2 races in April and July in 2011. But following those races in 2011, track announced they would not seek NASCAR sanctioning, and that was basically the end of the line for Nashville SuperSpeedway. It was sold to, well, sort of, sold to Panettone Development Company in a $44+ million deal. However, the land that the racetrack itself is on was not sold as part of the deal. There were multiple options to be exercised on picking up additional acreage on the property and everything else, but the racetrack is not on the chopping block anymore. And now, since 2021, hosting NASCAR Cup Series race weekends, also hosting the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Truck Series. Johnny Avila coming past Max Williams for the 8th position, as we are down to 2 laps to go here in stage number 1. Pick up your race leader, Andrew Moore Jr. He will see the green and white checkers next time by. Battle heating up here between Mike McConville and Tyler Seville. Through turns 3 and 4, Andrew Moore Jr., if he can get to the start-finish line cleanly, will see the green and white checkered, and he picks up the win here in stage number 1. Will Worsler going to come home second, Mike McConville, Tyler Seville, Troy Haight, the top 5. 6 through 10 to A.J. Digby, Brad Allison, Johnny Avila, Max Williams, and Tim Knott. Big dive there by Tyler Seville inside of Mike McConville into turn number 1. Let's take a look at that one on the Hot Shoe Raceware instant replay. Clearwater, Florida native with Huntington Bank and Arch Telecom on the side of that one. Made that pass look easy. Now he's going to start trying to chase down Will Worsler for second position. No caution flag coming here at the stage break. We're still, I would imagine, a little ways off from seeing a cycle of pit stop. That Callaway still with the fastest lap of the race. Everybody's still on the lead lap. Everybody's still on the racetrack here, all 16 cars. Slide back a little deeper in the field, pick up Corbin Simmons and Richard Fletcher. I think Simmons may have had an issue. He is now all the way back to the 12th position. Fletcher way up the racetrack, man. Simmons has a handful there as well. Man, look away for just a split second, and Tyler Seville already around Will Worsler. Picked that one up on the Hot Shoe Raceware instant replay. That number 11 machine is hooked up at the mid-corner point. You just see where that drive starts. And it was a no contact down the front straightaway. The gap right now sitting at 2 seconds between Andrew Moore Jr. and second place running Tyler Seville. Mike McConville going to have to go to work here to hold off AJ Digby, as the number 14 machine is also getting quick here. With only 2 sets of tires in the box, you would have to go pull out the calculator, do some quickie math here. You have to go about 44 laps. It'll be interesting to see if anybody elects to take that kind of undercut type strategy. We'll get that answer here in just a handful of laps or so. I have to say a huge thank you to all the sponsors of the Sim Racers Club for their support here, including Custom Paints and Diecast, Realty Executives Saskatoon, Northland Leisure, and SimSpeedShop.com, putting up all the big prizes here for our season champions. NASCAR style steering wheels going out the door, button boxes going out for the season champions, plus also drivers that are basically lowest incidents per race. Their name goes into a draw as well for some button boxes and sim racing equipment. Check them out, SimSpeedShop.com. AJ Digby around Mike McConville for the 4th position. Troy Haight has slid all the way back to the 6th position, but he's starting to gain a little bit here. I would imagine in the next 3 or so laps is when we're going to see some of these drivers elect to come down pit road. Others are going to try to stretch it, especially if we get a caution flag. 70 laps may become doable. You're not going to save 5 laps of fuel under 1 caution, but if that caution comes out very late, that would be considered the stage break, at which point you can come down, get your fuel and tires, and try to make it. Basically, you're going to have to get to 65, really 66, to be comfortable. Ain't having the peak inside of McConville. Little bit, just enough to get the spotter to say inside. That's a big way of letting them know you're there. Obviously, these drivers are watching the relative, but Max Williams looking to the inside of Brad Allison here at lap number 43. Tell you what, race is clipping by in a hurry here as well. 22 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock right now. McConville trying to hold off Troy Haight. Haight again, going to have the peak inside into 3. One of the interesting things is really how the drivers approach setting up their sim rig can make a huge difference in what your perception level is and what your level of awareness is of what's around you. If you're running in VR, you can turn your head and you can probably maybe get a glimpse of the car as he ducks down to the inside. If you're running triples, maybe. You might be able to see a race car to your inside. If you're on a single monitor, you live and die by the relative and your mirror. That's the only way to get an indication of where the driver around you may be attempting a pass. Quite frankly, that's something that I struggle with as a driver, is I run a single monitor, and the spatial awareness is sometimes a little bit off. You don't have to be off by much for the netcode gods to jump out and really put a hurting on your night. Tyler Seville closing in on race leader Andrew Moore Jr. The gap is down to a half second. Seville going to get a little bit of a draft as well. It's not going to come into play in a huge way, but it will make a difference, especially as lap traffic starts to come into play. First car up on the list for Andrew Moore Jr. will be the 86 of Tony Patton. Right now, this is the closest fight on the racetrack. AJ Digby, Mike McConville, Troy Haight, all separated by about 0.4 of a second. Battle for the lead, sitting right at about a half second. Brad Allison and Max Williams in the battle for 8th, separated by about 4/10. Same goes for Richard Fletcher and Corbin Simmons. So now here at lap number 50, we haven't seen anybody take the undercut just yet. Actually, the first car to go one lap down was the 62 of Rick Dvorka. Next on the list would be Tony Patton. Man, this is starting to get tight here at the front. Tyler Seville showing significant long-run speed, as is Will Worsler in the 29. The lead for Andrew Moore was almost 2.5 seconds at the end of stage number 1. 22, 23 laps later, the gap is down to 1/3 of a second. Over the 5-lap average, it's about 1/2 tenth that Tyler Seville is faster than your race leader. Over the 10-lap average and the 15-lap average, it's a full 1/10 of a second that Tyler Seville, has been faster than Andrew Moore Jr. Things getting tight here at the front as the leaders are catching up on the 22 with Daniel Pinkston. Pinkston clears out of the way to the high side of the racetrack. May have scraped the wall, gotten a piece of the safer barrier at the entry to turn 1. Pinkston will be able to continue on. The other big question at this point is, are the numbers we got a little bit off? You didn't have to be off by much. If you could make it to 68, you do a little extra fuel saving. Now all of a sudden the lap 70 caution flag comes into play. Still about 3 seconds up the road to Richard Fletcher and Corbin Simmons. Those are the two drivers that are fighting for 12th and 13th, as Daniel Pinkston is the first car to make his way down the pit lane. Will Worsler sitting comfortably in the 3rd position, not too far back of Tyler Seville. Right about 1/3 of a second. It's kind of where all the leaders are hanging out right now. You almost wonder again, are we on some sort of pace-saving operation here? Daniel Pinkston leaving the pits, 27.25 seconds, so a little bit of repair work getting done there to the 22. So it looks like he did catch the wall at the entrance to turn number 1. Trouble on the racetrack for Daniel Pinkston. Let's see what happened here. Exiting pit road. Yeah, I think he just elected to stop that race car. He did. Daniel Pinkston has to take the tow back into the pit area. Now Rick Dvorka heading down pit lane. Daniel Pinkston looked like he is out of this race. Will Worsler backing it down just a little bit. That gap's up to 0.8 of a second. Dvorka off pit lane, 20.27 seconds. So a little bit of damage repair ongoing there for the 62 machine. No real sense of hurry here out of Tyler Seville trying to catch up to Andrew Moore Jr. Moore putting lap lead number 54 up on the scoreboard, leading 54 of the 60 completed. Johnny Avila leading 6 laps very early in this race. Let's pick up Johnny and take a look, see whereabouts he is. About 2.9 seconds back of Troy Haight for the 6th position. Johnny almost spinning out of the lead. Great save off of turn number 4. Now working lap number 62. How about it? Rick Dvorka putting in some heaters here. He is coming back around Tyler Seville and going to have more speed than race leader Andrew Moore Jr. Dvorka's last lap time, 31.1. 31.9 the lap time for Andrew Moore Jr. Tough break for Daniel Pinkston. Speeding penalty coming out of the pits. And then the upshift paddle snapped off the wheel. That's never good. That makes life pretty difficult. Andrew Moore Jr., your race leader. Pinkston saying time for that Fanatec upgrade. Visit simspeedshop.com for all of your sim hardware upgrade needs. Sure, those guys will get you hooked up plenty nice. Andrew Moore able to clear the 10 of Corbin Simmons to put him a lap down. Next up on the list will be Richard Fletcher. Only 5 to go in the stage. This is about where we heard drivers, this was going to kind of be like a maximum number of lap 65. I wonder if they're going to be able to make it out here to 70 with the fuel saving. Trusty Logitech lasted me 5 years. My Logitech Driving Force GT is older than some of the drivers in this race. Still going strong for the moment, knocking on wood here. Moore opening up the gap here on Tyler Seville. Fletcher, one of the Will Worsler racing drivers, may not make life overly easy on Andrew Moore, but I don't necessarily think he's going to be out there causing problems for Andrew Moore. Troy Haight going to be the first of your race leaders to head down pit lane. Pick up the 28 as he comes in for his service with 66 laps to go, halfway home here at Nashville. And getting in just before the pits will close for the stage break. Now working lap number 68. And here's Tyler Seville inside of Andrew Moore Jr. A little bit of a holdup from Richard Fletcher may be enough. New race leader Tyler Seville with a strong move into turn number 3. Andrew Moore going to fall back to the second position here at lap number 69. These guys got to get just a couple more laps out of the fuel tank. Oh man, I wonder if Moore might be almost out of fuel. He was fairly slow down on the inside of the racetrack. Green and white checkered's going to fly next time. Will Wursler able to clear Andrew Moore Jr. as well? Moore very off the pace. Very slow off of turn number 2. He may have to come in. Oh, and he's on the pit access road. Andrew Moore Jr. out of fuel. Off of turn number 4, green and white checkered will go in the air. Tyler Seville will get the win in stage number 2. Now it's just a matter of when does the caution flag come out. AJ Digby will be 3rd. Mike McConville 4th. Johnny Avila up to 5th in the stage. Still no caution flag yet. That's going to let Richard Fletcher get back on the lead lap. Now the caution flag flies. That was huge for Richard Fletcher to come back by. And here's Andrew Moore Jr. on pit lane, finishing up his service. 15.9 seconds. The time of the stop for Andrew Moore Jr., but a penalty will be coming from race controller. At least I would think so, for entering a closed pit. Race control, if you can shoot us a message there on the Discord if there will be a penalty. I would assume so, though. Tyler Seville picking up the win in the stage. And he will lead everybody down pit lane. After leading 61 laps, Andrew Moore Jr. currently being scored 1 lap down in 13th. See who's going to win the race off of pit lane. Crew already finished up with a right-hand side work on Tyler Seville's number 11. For Fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles, Toucan Sunoco Fuel. He's going to be down and away 16.33 seconds. Good stop for Mike McConville, 15.45. Brad Allison out at 14.97. And Mike McConville wins the race off of pit road. Richard Fletcher, Corbin Simmons, both on pit lane now. Going to get everybody lined up in their appropriate positions here. But Mike McConville will be the leader of the race. Troy Haight will be able to take the wave around. He stopped at the halfway point. And Johnny Avila is back up to the 4th position. 15.93 seconds, the time of the stop for Johnny Avila. It was a good one. Drew gets him down and away and up into the 4th position. Will Worsler a little bit slow on pit lane. Let's see. Trying to find the number here on Will Worsler. .4 seconds, the time of the stop for Will Worsler. Looks like Andrew Moore Jr. will remain 1 lap down. Absolute heartbreaker for car 77. He will be the first car 1 lap down. Interesting stuff here. Will Worsler coming back down pit lane. Or at least lining up towards the tail end here of the line. Mike McConville, Tyler Seville, row number 1. Brad Allison, Johnny Avila on row 2. Tim Knott, Zach Calloway on row 3. They'll be followed back to the green by AJ Digby and Richard Fletcher. What the heck here? Let's give you a shot. Go ahead and crank it up here on the restart. Johnny Avila up to the 3rd position. AJ Digby currently running 5th. Brad Allison 4th. Avila 3rd. Tyler Seville 2nd. Mike McConville getting a great restart. But man, it is a hornet's nest. Just in front of and behind AJ Digby, the 03 of Brad Allison, the 14 of Digby, Tim Knott, Max Williams, Andrew Moore Jr. trying to work his way forward. Moore at least needs to hold on to the lucky dog position. But that's a car that we have not seen run in traffic all night long. Will Worsler back to the 8th position. Everybody lined up and playing nice right now. New commenter here, Ken Bryson checking in. This will be a great race to see Mike McConville take the lead with that Lincoln Park car. Well, he's already got the lead. Going for a win in that car. Done as a tribute to Chester Bennington. Johnny Avila trying to hold off Brad Allison. I don't think there's any concern on fuel here. We're down to, they went 72 laps on the first stint, or at least most of them. So they were past the halfway point. Everybody should be good to go here as a one-stop race. We talk frequently with my regular booth partner here, Patrick Byrne, about the Prost versus Senna styles. Alain Prost doing just enough to win and nothing more. Ayrton Senna going 11/10 every lap. Absolutely balls out everywhere he went. Kind of an interesting contrast in styles here. Andrew Moore Jr., he has been very consistent. Put up a great season in the points. To this point anyway, entering the night fourth, 55 back of Johnny Avila for the points lead. Mike McConville, he's more of a grip it and rip it kind of guy. Ooh, Brad Allison almost getting up into the safer barrier at the exit of turn 4. Tyler Seville, the contrast in styles here. Mike McConville, he's going hard all the time. Very much a guy who can be a little bit on edge. He has very high expectations for himself, quite frankly, and the drivers around him as well. Tyler Seville, a little bit more measured in his driving style. Doesn't need to go absolutely nuts all the time. Seeing Seville closing in to within a couple of car lengths. Man, these guys are flying around here right now. Mike McConville's 5-lap average, 30.34. His qualifying lap, 30.5 flat, which was good for 7th quick on the grid. Johnny Avila not far off here in the 3rd position, as Tyler Seville showing a big mirror full of himself right there to McConville. Little wide, little inside, little bit of everywhere. Oh, big block by McConville down the back straightaway. He has to tuck back up in line. Tries to slam the door closed. But Seville going to be there on corner exit. At the line. Oh, man. Seville by a fraction of a second. They'll continue to battle side by side through turns 1 and 2. Now Seville going to be able to clear. Now the hunter becomes the hunted. Tyler Seville grabbing the lead, his 6th lap led, going up on the board with 45 laps to go. Mike McConville leading 15, Johnny Avila leading 6th. Andrew Moore Jr. will win the most laps led award tonight. Unfortunately for Andrew, maybe got a little bit too far ahead, trying to save a bunch of fuel late in the stint, and came up about a lap and a half short. He is now being scored 1 lap down in the 12th position. One car up against the outside retaining wall. That's going to be the 43 of Richard Fletcher. Slide back a little bit here. Pick up this great battle between A.J. Digby, Max Williams, Brad Allison, and Will Worsler. Worsler getting around Tim Knott for the 7th position and pretty rapidly catching up to Brad Allison 0-3. Will Worsler having to peek inside of Max Williams off at turn number 2. He'll be able to get the job done. Brad Allison thought about trying to squeeze through that door. Worsler overdrove the entry just a little bit. It's going to back him right back up to the 8 of Williams. These guys battling 1 week ago at the Talladega Superspeedway. Will Worsler pushing Johnny Avila to the race win. As we mentioned, a whole lot coming up the rest of this week here on the National Racing Network. Tomorrow night, it'll be a triple header. Starting off at 7 p.m. in the East, the High Side Hustle with Burt Wojcik and Adam Rubright. They will be talking to King Brent the 39th. Brent Marks, the winner of the 39th Kings Royal at the Eldora Speedway. Looking forward to that conversation. Picked up the historical big one on Thursday night. Then on Saturday, the historical big one, by the way, paying $100,000 to win. Followed it up on Saturday with a Kings Royal victory, $175,000. $275,000 weekend for Brent Marks. Something tells me that young man bought some beers. At least a round or two. And he's getting to come home this week as the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Circuit invades central Pennsylvania once again for the Champion Oil Summer Nationals weekend. Tonight they're racing up at the Port Royal Speedway. Following that up at Williams Grove Friday and Saturday night. More big paydays coming up for that one. We're going to follow up the High Side Hustle with the Ezra IndyCar Series, wrapping up their season at the Chicagoland Speedway. Then it will be the Indy Pro 2000 Championship heading to WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. That's going to be a fun night of iRacing content there. Friday, we are off to the Pocono Mountains, where we will be covering the ARCA Menard Series, along with the NASCAR Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup Series, all taking on the Tricky Triangle. Same time, we're going to have a crew out at the Iowa Speedway for the Hy-Vee IndyCar doubleheader for the NTT IndyCar Series. Whole lot of real-world content coming this weekend right here on the National Racing Network. Don't want to miss any of the live updates from the track. How about it? Battle for the race lead. Johnny Avila inside of Tyler Seville. Avila went for a wild ride earlier in this race. Now battling with Tyler Seville. Seville able to hold off Avila to this point, but man alive, this is a great side-by-side battle. You wonder if they're going to be baking tires off a little bit. We talked about that earlier in the run, and you saw the definite fall off. In fact, we're already seeing it in just the last 10 laps. They've gone from the 15-lap average sitting at about 31 flat for Tyler Seville. The 5-lap average all the way up to a 31.4, almost 31.5. Great battle here for the lead. Still ongoing between Avila and Seville. Johnny Avila finally able to clear down the back straightaway. Seville right up under the deck lid. That can get him a little bit loose. And Hunter Waters checking in here in the comments. What's going on, Hunter? Hopefully you're having a good night here. The fastest pickle in the South not entered in tonight's race. Checking in from Dallas this week. I'm contractually obligated as a citizen of the city of brotherly love to drop a certain expletive before the word Dallas. But I'm not going to do that to you. Says he's looking forward to being back next Wednesday. Hopefully you're enjoying the show, brother. These guys are putting on a heck of one up at the front of the field. Tyler Seville still right up on Johnny Avila, not letting him go as we've got one car heading down pit lane. This was 100 laps ago. Johnny Avila off of turn 4. Big wiggle, bigger save. Falls all the way to the back of the field, but he keeps the car under control. Now, Johnny Avila sitting back at the head of the line as your race leader. Down to 26 laps to go here at the Nashville SuperSpeedway, just a little bit east of the great city of Nashville, Tennessee. Nash Vegas going to have the fireworks tonight, courtesy of Will Worsler Racing. If any of these cars pull into victory lane, whole team doing the big burnouts on the front straightaway. Will Worsler starting to catch up as well to his two drivers here running at the front. Avila, your points leader. Tyler Seville entering the night third in points. Will Worsler entering the night fifth in points. Seville will pass Kevin Dick for second. Dick not entered in the race this evening. And Andrew Moore Jr. still trapped there one lap down in the 11th position. However, if we get a caution flag, hold on. Because Andrew Moore Jr. was very, very quick on the short run. Opened up about a 2-second lead early in this race. Ooh, big moment there for Tyler Seville. He almost caught the wall. And Will Worsler going to be able to get down to the inside. New second place runner, Will Worsler. He needs the points too. That is a every position gained, theoretically only 1 point. However, with Andrew Moore being trapped a lap down, that gets him ever closer to picking up that spot in the point standings. Down to 22 laps to go. Additional lap cars really shouldn't be an issue here, as Troy Haight, running in the 10th position, is only about 9 seconds back of your race leaders. Only other real battle on the racetrack right now is Zach Callaway and Max Williams fighting for the 8th position. But we're not getting away here from this fight at the front of the field. Man, Will Worsler made up a ton of ground on corner entry. Oh, but he pushes a little bit wide. So does Tyler Seville. There you see the gap open right back up again. Seville got a much better exit off the corner that time. Wursler driving it deep into the corners. That's going to cause more wear on the tires. Really have to watch how hard you drive these, as we've still got 20 laps to go, and that would make it about a 60-lap run on the tires. Best laps for these drivers in the 30.2 second range. 5-lap average, 31.7, 31.8. Now, for the entirety of your top 5. There you see right at the back end of the shot, Mike McConville holding on for the 4th position. AJ Digby running in 5th. Get a shot here from Clay Kennedy. Thank you very much for the comment. Like the Bulldog Roofworks profile picture. We appreciate the support with the comments. That's huge for us. The more engaged the audience is, the more YouTube decides this is content people need to see. Same goes for the folks watching on Twitch. Now that they are back from an automatic commercial break, we appreciate you hanging out with us here on Twitch as well. Do all the likes and shares and all that kind of stuff. We appreciate it. Let everybody know what you're watching here. We are going to have a heck of a show with 17 laps remaining. Johnny Avila has been flat spectacular once again this season. The champion last year in the Sim Racers Club Championship. In 9 starts, he only has 9 starts. He had a week off. 5 wins, 8 top 5s, 9 top 10s, 19 bonus points, and one of the lowest incident totals in the entire league, averaging just 2 incidents per race over 1,104 laps. Absolutely insane stuff here once again from AJ Digby. Oh, big slide up to the outside. I believe that was Rick Dvorka in the 62. He made a pit stop about 10 laps ago. So he is running quicker than your race leaders at this point. Hunter Waters checking in saying top 5 alert for AJ. There he is. He's got Andrew Moore Jr., the guy who led the most laps tonight, right on his tail. But Andrew, unfortunately, still scored 1 lap down after the strategy call just didn't quite work out for him. Wursler way to the inside. He almost makes contact with Avila. Big drive through the middle of the corner by Will Wursler. Last week was payback for Daytona. Everybody's all square now. Now it's going to be a 3-car battle for the win. Avila, Wursler, Seville, McConville, and Digby. One of those things is not like the other. 4 Will Wursler racing cars in the top 5. The only one that's not is Mike McConville in the 57. Avila able to hold on to this point. Yes. Ken Bryson. Digby and McConville back to back. Oh boy. Yes, if it was the other way around, AJ may have gone for a ride. At this point, McConville able to stay in front of Digby, so We'll see how that one plays out late in this race. I can't even say a little bit of bad blood between those two. There was a whole lot of... There was beef. There was full-on Texas cattle-sized beef between A.J. Digby and Mike McConville earlier this season. Still working through lap traffic. That will be the 10 of Corbin Simmons that the race leaders come past. Down to 10 to go. Again, Will Worsler way down to the inside in turn 3. Much better speed through the mid-corner that time. He gained 2 car lengths through 3 and 4. Tyler Seville going to be there as well. Top 3 all within about 5 car lengths from front to back. And oh, by the way, Digby and McConville nose to tail. Digby having the look on McConville into 3 and 4. Oh, they're going to be tight there. Oh, McConville. Whoa, man. That was almost some left side loving out of Mike McConville in the middle of 1 and 2. Andrew Moore Jr. sitting there going, I don't want to be part of this. I do not need this excitement in my life right now. Digby, nice drive at the mid-corner. McConville, a little bit faster down the straightaway, a little bit faster on entry. Digby makes up the ground at the mid-corner. Man, battle for seconds, a good one too. Will Worsler, Tyler Seville. Seville was alongside entering turn number 1, has to fall back in line. Great racing here with 7 laps to go. Big drive into the corner by McConville. Has to check up a little bit. That may give A.J. Digby just enough room to get clear. Andrew Moore is the lap car. He wants inside of Digby. Oh, we almost got into the back of him in 1 and 2. McConville's going to be there as well. That's going to be frustrating. Lap traffic playing a role in the outcome of this race. You get Andrew Moore's trying to fight for positions, but... well, track position anyway. But right now, he's the lucky dog by a wide margin. Down to 5 to go. Race leader, Johnny Avila, clean off of turn number 2. Battle for second. Call it about 4 car lengths, maybe 5 as they get down into turn number 3. That will be Will Worsler holding off Tyler Seville. 4 to go this time by. Troy Haight, who stopped at about the halfway point of this race. Currently now running in the 9th position, just never able to recover. He was up towards the front most of the night until that halfway mark. A.J. Digby still with Andrew Moore Jr. right up underneath the bumper. Oh, Digby may have gotten a piece of the wall. That's going to allow Moore down to the inside. He'll complete the pass easily, and it's going to bring Mike McConville back into this fight, as it will be 2 laps to go this time by for Johnny Avila. Looking to extend the point lead. If they get around to the line, the white flag will fly. And it is in the air. 1 lap to go for Johnny Avila. He's going to go almost worst to first tonight. Started first. Could possibly finish first. As the gap is now 1.6 seconds over Will Worsler. Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Checkered flag will go in the air. And Johnny Avila gets the win at Nashville. Will Worsler going to come home second. Tyler Seville holds on for third. Fourth to A.J. Digby. And fifth, Mike McConville. Johnny Avila doing the burnouts here at the start-finish line. Let's take a look and show you the race results. Avila by 1.751 seconds over Will Worsler. Tyler Seville, third. A.J. Digby, Mike McConville, the top 5. 6 through 10, Brad Allison, Tim Knott, Max Williams, Troy Haight, and Zach Calloway. Andrew Moore Jr., the first car, 1 lap down in 11th. Corbin Simmons, 12th. Rick Dvorka, 13th. Tony Patton, 14th. Richard Fletcher finishing 4 laps down in the 15th position. And Daniel Pinkston, 79 laps down in the 16th position after the sim hardware failure earlier in the race. Absolutely fantastic race here at the Nashville SuperSpeedway. Only slowed by 1 caution flag, which was for the stage break at stage number 2. Let's get the instant replays queued up here, and we'll get ready to talk to our winners here tonight. Kick things off in victory lane with our race winner this evening, Mr. Johnny Avila. Oh man, I'll tell you what, bud, that was a ho-hum kind of night. Started first, finished first, not much happened in between.
Except for me doing some lawn keeping. But you know, just a regular day.
Yes, just hanging out there in the grass for a little bit, a handful of laps into the race. What goes through your head when that happens? You know, obviously you got to recenter yourself, get yourself back to where you want to be. But that can't be an easy thing to do and just know you have to kind of ride it out and wait.
To be honest, the very first thing that came into my mind is maybe I should ask Daniel for a job because like I can do some landscaping. But after that, it was just get back on course and try to save fuel to make it to lap 70. Like that was such a stretch. I think Will actually ran out as soon as the yellow came out. So like we were all right on edge. As we were in pit road, I would say halfway through, I ran out of gas. So I was just clutching it and trying to wiggle my way to my box. So that made it interesting.
I would say that was an impressive run because the number we heard was 60 to 65 laps. All of a sudden, you guys are getting there. You see Andrew have his issue running out of fuel on that with the basically 1 to go lap. It has to make you nervous, but once you get there, now you know you got a shot. You're going to restart inside the top 5. It was almost like a clean restart to the race, and it was just a 70-lap feature event from that point on.
Yeah, because if it wasn't for that yellow, there's no way I would have caught Tyler or Will tonight. Both those guys were flying. At the end there, I think I was just holding everybody up, going really slow on entry, and then just trying to launch it on the exit. Will had a couple good shots in there. That was fun battling.
Yeah, that was going to be my final question for you. There were a couple of times you almost got some right side romance from the boss man over there. Fun, nerve-wracking, a little bit of both?
You always gotta love it getting a big old bear hug by the boss. Oh, man.
That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, man. It was a hell of a show you put on for us once again tonight. Congratulations on picking up win number 5 this season. 5, 6? Yeah, 6 wins this season.
Yeah.
9th top 5, 10th top 10. Absolutely the position you want to be in here in the points as well as we get down to the last handful. Hell of a job, man. Before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Thank you, guys. Gotta thank Bulldog Roofworks. Hopefully, they're liking the effort that I'm putting in for them. And just everybody that's involved in this league. Because a lot of things are going on, but like they always seem to get everybody together, focused, and make sure things are running smoothly and calmly, which is really good because it's easy for things to get untangled. And then also got to thank all my teammates. They made me work for it tonight, that's for sure. It was a fun battle, a hard battle, and got to thank you guys up in the booth. I'm sure that this is going to be a good one to watch back.
I hope so. Well, we hope you enjoy the show when you watch it back, brother, and congratulations once again. Let's bring in our runner-up finisher here tonight, Mr. Tyler Seville, and man, I'll tell you, actually third place finisher tonight here, Tyler Seville, excuse me. Man, you had a heck of a show going on throughout the race here. Tell us a little bit about the night from your perspective, because unlike the adventures that Johnny was on, you were kind of able to just kind of run your race, run your pace, and be there at the front when you needed to be.
Yeah, I unfortunately messed up in qualifying, so that kind of shifted my strategy there on the first run. And this track, it really pays off to just be patient and hit your marks and run the bottom. And that's what I was able to do. And then at least I made Johnny earn it tonight.
You most certainly did that. And the other one, I wonder if you didn't have an effect on here, was Andrew Moore Jr., because you were really pushing him towards the end of that first stint. And ultimately, you had barely enough fuel to make the end, and he was about a lap short. That really may have been one of the defining moments in the race, was the push with Andrew towards the end of stage 2. That completely changed things from front to back.
Yeah, I figured, I knew me coming up through the field, being able to just like tuck in behind cars here and there, that I was going to be able to save a little bit more fuel than what Andrew did being out in front there. And I knew I was close, so I figured if I was close, he had to be even closer. So once I knew that I was at least going to make it, I tried to push him as much as I could there, and it looked like it cost him to run out there with like 1 to go.
That was huge. That was an absolutely massive moment in the race, and ultimately changed fortunes for quite a few people. Big night in the points for you as well. You're going to pass Kevin with him not being in the field here tonight. Johnny may be a little bit approaching out of reach here, but what are your thoughts as we head into the last, or I guess 3 races of the season?
I don't want to say it's over, but Johnny's so tough to beat that unless he misses a race or has something happen, it's looking like he might be out of touch. I won't be here next week, but I'll certainly be watching. But yeah, you just keep hustling, and you never know what'll happen.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations once again on the podium finish here tonight. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, shout out to Arch Telecom, my sponsor, and then shout out to all my teammates. I know Richard Fletcher had a couple issues, but other than that, we finished 1, 2, 3, 4 on the night. And shout out for Hunter Waters, he was watching on TV today.
Yes, Hunter was. We were having some fun chatting with him in the comments here, and once again, Tyler, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's bring in our runner-up finisher here tonight. Make sure we get the graphics all squared away here and stuff. But man alive, great run for Will Worsler, up to second place this evening. Pretty impressive show there, brother. What was the race like from your perspective there? At least let's do the early part of the race.
Well, I was fastest in qualifying. I totally messed up 1 and 2, ran a lane high, and cost myself some time. I thought I could have had pole. Still started third. I'd rather had clean air. Andrew Moore was fast. Tyler Seville was lightning quick up through the field, and Johnny messed up, obviously. Lost himself a little bit, and he obviously wound up coming back okay. But I mean, first half of the race, I was just trying to conserve a little bit of time and a little bit of fuel so I can make it to lap 70. And unfortunately, I did it. I made it to lap 70 and ran out of gas, so I had to pit with closed pit stall. So that sent me to the back of the field for the second half of the race.
That was going to be my question. It looked like there was a little bit of an issue there with your pit stop, and ultimately, I don't want to say it necessarily cost you a shot at the win, but starting further back, you had to work your way through the field. What was it like running with Johnny over those last handful of laps? I mean, you guys were really close to making contact. He says, I asked him about it. He said nothing like getting a bear hug from the boss.
Yeah.
That was a heck of a show you guys put on there late.
Yeah, the car over the course of the run would, you'd obviously get some degradation on your tires, and you would have to adjust accordingly with your entry and brake points, your throttle points, X, Y, Z, and there were some points of the run where it would degrade incrementally, and in others it would kind of you'd hit a wall. And one of the times I went into the turn there with Johnny, I overcooked it a little. Plus, I think I was at the wall point and it just did not brake the way that I meant to, and I ran him up the track a little bit. That's completely by accident. It felt stupid. Still do. But, I was able to run with him. By the time I had ran up through the field and, passed a few guys here and there, I kind of spent the extra tire that I had planned on saving. And so, I kind of was like, well, I'm here. Might as well see what I got and how long I've got it. So I gave it my best, and that was really all I had. I mean, Johnny did what he always does. He played it smart and turned it on when he had to, and he won. Can't believe, honestly, I was able to finish in front of Seville. He's been so good with tire wear. I mean, he's always good with tire wear in the long run. But it was really cool to be able to come back up to the field like that, finish second. Would have been, should have been, whatever. If I'd been a little bit smarter, maybe I had a better result. But second was fun.
I'll tell you what, it was a big points night that you needed, closing up a lot of ground on Andrew, and obviously getting a little bit of help with Kevin not being here. Third place in this season-long point standings is not out of the question here. Is that something you look at over the next 3 weeks to round out the season, or do you just kind of let that shake out where it may and try to go hard each week?
I mean, it is. I mean, I went so long through this season with the car being opposite of my driving style and not really feeling like I had a chance to win anything, even though I won Daytona. That was kind of luck and an accident at the same time. But ever since they've updated the car and it kind of drives more to my liking, I mean, I feel like I can threaten every other week or so. And so I kind of wasted the first half of the season not being able to drive it or compete the way I wanted to. And, now that I can, I mean, it's a little bit too late, but yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking at the points and trying to see how much damage I can do and how far I can make it back up.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations once again on the runner-up finish here tonight. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous taken care of.
Yep, I need to thank, first and foremost, my wife for her support. Watching all my races. I need to thank Willoughby Roofing and Sheet Metal and my coworkers that watch my races from Willoughby, Clay and Brandon and Mario and Daniel. And got to thank my teammates, man, helped me a lot in practice this week. I didn't have a lot of experience at this track. I only had 8 race laps here. I had a race here last year, year before, and got wrecked out on lap 8. So didn't have much experience here, and they really helped me out. So got to thank Sam and the 2 Jordans and you guys here on the broadcast. Appreciate you guys.
All right, bud. Well, we appreciate the kind words from you, and I look forward to talking to you again, hopefully here next week. And man, that show was fun. That was, I enjoyed that one thoroughly here. Let's take a look, bring up the comment from Hunter Waters. Yeah, he's liking the dubs there. Absolutely fantastic show from Will Worsler Racing. Good run for Mike McConville as well, coming home in the 5th position. That was the strong run that Mike needed this season. Maybe give him a little bit of a momentum boost into next season. But just about time for us to get the heck on out of here. Is we have a ton going on this weekend. As we mentioned, tomorrow night on the High Side Hustle with Burt Wojcik and Adam Rubright, it will be King Brent the 39th. Brent Marks, winner of the Kings Royal and the historical big one, $275,000 in NOS Energy Drink World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series winnings last weekend at the Eldora Speedway. Coming home back to Central Pennsylvania this week. He is going to be a fun conversation on Thursday night. Also, we will have the Ezra IndyCar Series wrapping up their schedule from the Chicagoland Speedway. Fairly tight points battle there, but it looks like Matt Wagner will likely have a championship once again in the Ezra IndyCar Series. Rounding out the night with the Indy Pro 2000 Championship from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Then we are off to the real world racetracks. Friday, it will be maybe a peek in from Snydersville Raceway. We'll see. But definitely coverage of the Arca Menard Series from Pocono Raceway. Saturday, we will have crews on the ground at Pocono and at Iowa Speedway. So coverage of the NASCAR and IndyCar race weekends coming up all weekend long, Friday and Saturday nights. Don't want to miss any of that. With that, time for us to get the heck on out of here. It's been a fun night, and we got a lot of prep work to do for this weekend. For everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these broadcasts happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.